Good evening, everyone. Greetings. If I can have your attention, General Votel's right there in the middle, but he'll sign autographs later. Hello, everyone. I am Steve Clemons. I am editor-at-large of The Hill. It's such a pleasure to be back with all of you tonight. On behalf of the Board of Governors, the scholars, the staff of the Middle East Institute, I want to welcome you to the 73rd Annual Gala. It's going to be an exciting evening, and I want to thank you for sharing it with us. We're joined by a wonderful audience, as always, including ambassadors, and there are so many here tonight, I'm not going to ask you to stand up. But before I go on to who else is here, I just want to tell you a little bit of a story. Ambassadors can make a difference. Where are the students from the University of Wisconsin-Madison? Stand up. Stand up. This is a cool crowd. My night is made. Stand up. Where are you? There are two over here. There are 6 of them. I did not know what a battle I was going to begin by saying hello and introducing them to General Votel. We're going to get to him later. But, you know, they're from Wisconsin, and he's a Minnesota guy. You know, he's apparently into Gophers. They're into Badgers. That's apparently a college football game. He's into Vikings. They're into the Green Bay Packers. This started tonight. This is how the Middle East Institute 73rd Annual Gala started. So General Votel, I don't know who's going to win, but they're a pretty good crowd, right? Yeah. Okay, good. So we've got government officials here, analysts, academics, corporate folks, NGO heads, and friends of the Middle East Institute, of which I consider myself one. I'm so impressed with this institution, its new launch. I think there are about twice the number of people at this dinner tonight as last year. Maybe I was told maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I'm prone to that. So give yourselves a hand. First of all, thank you for supporting MEI. I'd like to acknowledge the embassies, the corporate members, the individual donors supporting this year's annual gala. Your support is invaluable to MEI's growth and success. So please, again, thank you. Tonight, we honor the accomplishments of philanthropists Othman and Layla Benjaloun from Morocco and Oscar-nominated Lebanese director Nadine Labaki. Their combined impact and influence has touched the lives of so many in the Middle East and beyond, especially the lives of children. All 3 have invested their time and resources to make the lives of the region's very vulnerable children better. Maybe go for an applause here. I'm going to say you should applaud that. I'm reading my notes here. But yes, you know, I got back from Abu Dhabi just last night. Last year, who was there last year? I'm so sorry, because, you know, I was crazy. Last year was a great year, but it was one of these things where I sort of took over and I forced you guys to buy all those pictures, and it was a great night. But I had flown in from Abu Dhabi that evening. I didn't want to tell Kate Seeley and Paul Salem that, but I arrived at 5 o'clock and I made it here by 6. I shaved in the car, changed clothes in the Uber. I think that many of you do this. We pretend to be in fancy clothes and we do all these things. But I got back from Abu Dhabi last night this year. But one of the things I focused in on is what of many of the programs that are going on to support the children, particularly refugee children that have been displaced in the region. So I want to thank those of you who were worried about kids, because I saw it in live form over in the Middle East, and it was a big priority for me. I'm glad it's a priority for you. All 3 have invested their time and resources to make the lives of the region's children better. We hope to continue that legacy of impact and influence tonight, as partial proceeds from this year's gala will be donated to the Labaki's charity, the Capernaum Association. So thank you for that. I also want to note, and this is a somber moment, because I knew this individual, had met him before, but it's a somber moment, because when you look at the region and you look what's happening out there, you see many people putting themselves, their careers, their lives, and reputations at risk to try to make the world better and to try to do things and move the needle on improving the health of their societies. And sometimes that comes at extraordinary expense. I want to note that 2 years ago, the Middle East Institute honored the White Helmets, who've done such great work helping save civilians in Syria. One of their co-founders, James Masurier, died this week in Istanbul. and I think we have his photo up here. He's was an extraordinary man. Our thoughts are with his family and the white helmets. He exemplified the recipients of our awards. He was incredibly selfless and caring. He had a passion, and he was a strategist on how to change the game there. So let's have a moment of silence in his honor. Oh, phone call here. Yes. Hello. Yes, Mr. President, I'm a little bit busy right now. No, I know. I'm at the Middle East Institute dinner. I tried to get them at the Trump Hotel. I tried, could not do that. Maybe next year. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, I know that they're buying a lot of weapons and whatever, and they should have invited you. They should have had you. But I know that they would love to. I know Dick Clark would just love to have you here next year. Yeah. No, Yusuf Otaib is not here tonight. But I'm working on that UAE Qatar thing. But I really think you ought to use Rudy Giuliani. Okay, Mr. President. I got to go. Got to go. Bye-bye. He wanted to see if I could cancel impeachment, and that's not going to happen. But let me say a few words just very quickly about from my own perspective, it's such an honor to be here tonight. Paul Salem, Kate Seeley, Dick Clark, the folks that have made the Middle East such a high priority. In my role as a journalist, and I know the New York Times has some folks here, they're looking for sources. Mark Mazzetti and Eric Schmidt, if you're here, let me point you out so that you're obvious to everyone. But we've got some great journalists here. Those of us that are in the profession that I'm in are looking for quality connections, quality analysis, and looking at people who are looking beyond the surface of things. And that's what the Middle East Institute does. The Hill, which I'm editor-at-large, I've just published yesterday a piece by one of your fellows, Antoon Issa, who is also my former colleague at The Atlantic. And I really value a kind of in-depth, more tectonically aware set of research on what's happening. And if we didn't have the Middle East Institute, I think we would be floundering in ways that we might not expect or know. So I want to commend you for your scholarship, for your deep research. Thank you so much on behalf of those who depend upon you for that analysis.